everyone. Welcome back to my channel. This is the Wandering Creative Life. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new here, my name is Arden, and my channel is just all about finding your creativity and living a creative life. And that can mean kind of whatever the hell you want it to. For me, it means kind of collecting hobbies and trying a lot of new things that make me feel creative and that foster my creativity. So I do a lot of knitting, a lot of, well, I'm trying to learn how to crochet. I'm trying to learn how to do needle punch or punch and needle fiber art. I write, which you'll see a lot of writing content on here. I also do digital art. I make stickers. Yeah, a little bit of everything. And so today, I just wanted to do kind of an introductory video and talk a little bit about how I got into writing because it's a big part of my life and it's something that I'm trying to make into a thing. The dream would be to be able to just write and do nothing else. Just write full time. That would be absolutely amazing and is my hope to one day be able to do that. I've always kind of been a writer. I started pretty young. I don't know. I was reading from a super young age and was really into fantasy and science fiction and wanted to kind of create my own worlds as well. So I started writing. And then I got really into poetry because I was a very sad, lonely, depressed child. Probably around like 10, 8 to 10, I started doing poetry. And yeah, just used writing as a way to escape and to feel like I was being heard, I guess, is maybe the best way to say it. Um, but I always really loved reading and being able to escape to these fantastical worlds through reading. And so I would write my own stories as well. Um, and I did the same with movies. A lot of the times, like I grew up watching uh, action movies. We watched a lot of Bruce Willis, Kurt Russell, Sylvester Stallone, like those types of movies in the late 80s, early 90s that were super popular. Anything with Steven Seagal in it. Yeah, we watched it. We watched all of them. Uh, and I loved them, but I would often, in my mind, change these action heroes into women and kind of rewrite the story and put strong female characters as the main characters instead of men. And I think that was because I wanted to see, at the time, I was identifying as female and wanted to see those types of characters in those roles, just strong, independent, confident women kicking ass and saving other women. And so I would rewrite those stories. And most of the time I just did it in my mind, but I had journals as well. And I remember completely rewriting the fantastic movie I was obsessed with, Backdraft. Um, Again, I think Kurt Russell was in that and Billy Baldwin, I think. And I rewrote it to where the firefighters were women and yeah, just retold the story in my own way and made a cover for it, everything. Printed that thing out. Like I was obsessed with writing it how I wanted it to be. Um, and so yeah, I wrote a lot through my childhood and kind of slowed down in high school because I got into sports and was just too busy with school and stuff to keep up my writing. And same with college. But when college started to end and my father passed away at the same time, that kind of moved me into action. And I started writing again, started working on a book called Echoes of Us, which I'm still working on. So it's been like, I don't know. Oh, it's been a long time. It's been like 15 years, maybe longer that I've been working on it. And it's close. It'll probably come out next year if I get my shit together. But yeah, it's close. But I started working on that and started writing more when I graduated from college. I think because I was in a time of like not knowing what the hell I was going to do with my life, and everything was very uncertain. And I had writing, which was this thing I knew and that was comforting. And again, I could use it kind of as an escape mechanism. So I did just that. And I wrote a lot. And then when I started working, same thing happened. I stopped writing. And it wasn't until probably 2019, 2020 that I really was like, you know what? I've always wanted to write. It's what I want to do with my life. So I'm going to put forth effort, like a real concerted effort, and do it. And I put everything towards writing. I started doing National Novel Writing Month and started pumping out some books. And that's how my first book, Fall into Midnight, came to be. It was a National Novel Writing Month book. So I wrote it in 30 days. And then I let it sit for like a year, maybe almost 2 years, before I picked it back up and rewrote it and edited it and published it, and then took it down and actually did the steps to publish it right and republished it, all in the same time writing the second book for that series, because it's a trilogy, um, and getting that one ready to go as well. And now the third one is in the works. So I've got a trilogy that'll have been completed in 2 years roundabout. So that's been a really great experience, learning experience. I've spent so much money making mistakes, figuring out what type of editing I need, what I should be paying for editing, book coaches, courses, cover art, all the things. I've spent so much money. Um, Again, kind of fumbling my way through it to figure it out. I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing now that I'm on my third book, but you never know. You never know. Um, but one of the popular questions that you get asked as an author is who influences your writing? And I write queer romantic suspense. Um, or it's kind of it's maybe more of a thriller than suspense, but I think my main influences in that genre would be Taubauer, who writes or male romantic thrillers that are fantastic. Highly recommend. And then I don't read them so much now, but I used to read a lot of Cindy Gerard and Maya Banks, who write kind of military romance. And that just like tickles the right part of my brain. I love a good like military romance or cop romance, or you know, spy romance, anything where there's action and a little bit of romance. And so that is pretty much exactly what my book series is. It's a little bit of action and a little bit of action. So it's a good time. Um, but I also write horror, and eventually we'll be writing some science fiction and fantasy. And Terry Brooks has always been a huge influence on everything I do. I love his books. Jim Butcher, Stephen King are probably my top three influences when it comes to writing. Um, But I'd like to know, if you're a writer, what are your top influences? Who, or did you have a book or an author that you read when you were a child that just like influenced you and still influences you to this day? And if you're a reader, who's one of your favorite authors and why do you love them so much? I would love to hear about that and learn more about the books that you like to read. I find it fascinating, and people are so into like so many different things. It's great, and I'm really deep into like the romance genre right now because it's what I write. So I kind of forget that there are other genres out there, and would love some new book recommendations. So hit me with the recommendations. If you want to learn a little bit more about my writing experience and background, I do have a blog post out, which I'll link to in the episode description or the video description. Um, and I'm trying to do blogs every week and videos probably every other week. But I would recommend hitting that notification bell because I'm terrible about uploading at any time of schedule. So the notification bell is the best way to know when I've uploaded a video. Also, this weekend, which will be the 28th, 29th, and 30th, I will be in Washington, D.C. And that's for Lavender Con, which is a book convention or conference. And we'll be a signing author there and also on a panel called Keeping Romance Thrilling. So if you're going to be in DC as in attendance to that conference, please swing by my table. Let me know that you saw my video here on YouTube or that you follow me on Instagram, and I'll throw in some extra goodies. So thanks for sticking around and watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and maybe I will see you this weekend. All right. Bye, everyone.